Hey everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to discuss an interesting SQL interview question. Here is the question. Determine the total number of rows or records obtained from table T1 and T2 after performing inner, left outer, right outer, full outer and cross join based on ID columns. Here table T1 ID one column, and we have a values like 1 1 time, 2 2 times, 3 3 times, 4 1 time and null 2 times. This is the T1, and table T2 column name is the same ID, and 1 1 time, here 2 2 times, 3 1 time, 5 1 time and null is the 1 time. Now the expected output total number of records are rows. So when you run the query by joining the two tables using the inner join, what is the output? Okay, here number of records, and total number of records when you do the left join and outer join, full join and cross join. Let's see one step by step simulation. So here inner join simulation, so table T1 and table T2. So what is the output? Okay, so when you do the join, inner join between table 1 and table 2, first 1 to 1, okay, and then 2 to 2, and then from this 2, okay, table T1 to table T2, and we have a another one, this 2, this 2, and this 2, this 2. So next 3 3 3 3 3 3. So total now we have a 1, these 4 5 and these 3, total 8 records by using the inner join. So we got the 8 records by doing the inner join. Now let's move on to left outer join. So left outer join, whatever that equi join plus rest of the records. So here we have extra records, like 4 is the extra records because we are using the left outer join. So we have to take the all the records from T1 where matched plus unmatched records from T1. So this is the 4, and here are the null 2 records. Total 8 plus 3 11 records. So we got the 11 records by using the left outer join. Let's see for right outer join. So all 8 records, and then there are the extra records from T2. Right out we are using the T2. So 5 is the extra record and null. So total we have a 10 records. Now we'll see the full join. So full join means all the match records from T1 T2 and the extra records from T1 as well as T2. So see, this is the one extra record from T2 and this is the null, because please note that null equal to null always false. So 2 records. So 8 plus 2 10, and the extra records from the T1. The 4 is the extra record, null is the extra record, null is the. So total we have 13 records. Okay. 8 records equijoin, 2 records extra from the T2 and 3 records extra from T1. So 8 plus 5, 13 records. Now cross join. So simple cross join is nothing but T1 into the number of records from the T1, 9 records, and the number of records from the table T2. So 9 into 6 equal to 54 records. Now let's see same in action. Yeah, here is the question. Determine the total number of rows records obtained from table T1 and T2 after performing inner join, left outer join, right outer join, full outer join and cross join based on ID columns from T1 T2. So let me create the table T1 and 2 with data as we shown, as I shown in the presentation. So here is the data from table T1. Please note that the ID column, this table T1 has the column ID with 9 values. So for ID 1 we have only 1 row, for ID 2 we have 2 rows, and ID 3 we have 3 rows, ID 4 only 1, and nulls 2 rows. Okay, total 9 records. And from T2 we have id, I mean T has the table, T2 table has id column, and id1 with 1, id2 with 2 rows, and id3 with only 1 row, and id5 is 1, and null is the 1. So let me do inner join or equijoin. So select t1.id comma t2.id from t1 inner join is the keyword to I mean inner join t2 on t1.id equal to t2.id. So let me execute this one. So we got the 8 records because 2 is the common from both tables 2 times. So these 4 records, and this id is the one time, and 3 is the 3 times in the table T1 and 1 time in the table T2. So 3 records, total 8 records. Now move on to the left outer join. So all record, I mean inner join plus all records from all extra records from T1. So we have a 3 extra records, like one is the 4 and 2 null values. So we are going to get the 4 null and null. Okay, these are the 3 extra records which we got apart from inner join when you do the left outer join, and I mean T1 with the T2. So all the join, okay, join records plus extra records from the T1. So T1 has the extra 4 and 2 nulls. That's why we got the total 11 records. Now move on to the right outer join. So select t1.id comma t2.id from t1 right outer join t2 on t1.id equal to t2.id. Let me execute this query. So 8 records from equijoin and 2 records, 2 extra records from t2. So one is the 5, another one is the null. So total we are going to see 10 records. So 5, and there is no record from the T2. So we have a null, and null record is present in the extra record from T2. So equivalent, there is no value from T1. So null is there. So total we got the 10 records. Now we're going to see the full outer join. So full outer join, select star or t1 comma 2. Okay, so t1 comma id t2 comma id from t2 full outer join t2. So all equijoin, I mean join records plus extra records from the t1, that is the 3, and extra records from t2, that is 2. So total 8 plus 3 plus 2, 13 records we are going to get. Okay, 13 records for null. Okay, extra record from the t1, and there is no match from the t2, null is there, and we have a 2 null values from t1 table. So no match found, so we got the null as well from t2, and extra record from t2, and there is no match for t1, so we got the null, and one extra record from the t2 and no match from t1, so null is there. So total we got 13 records. Now move on to the cross join. So select star from T1 cross join T2. So here cross join means total number of records from T1 into total number of records into T2. So T1 has 9 records and T2 has 6 records. 9 into 6, 54 records. So we should see 54 records. That is the cross join. Okay. Now let's do check or see two more question, I mean cases. So use the distinct. Okay, select distinct id from t1. So total 9 records are there. Okay, so when we apply the distinct, we got only 5 records. So 2 is the 2 times, 3 is the 3 times, so we got the only 2 records for this case, and null we have a 2 records, so here only 1 record got. Okay, so please note that when you use the distinct, null is appearing only 1 times irrespective of n number of times appearance. Okay, any record along with the all numbers as well. Okay, now let's see group by. Select id comma count star from t1 group by id. So if I execute that, so null is 2 times, okay, in the T1 table. That's why we got the count is the 2. And 1 is the 1 time, 2 is the 2 times, 3 is the 3 times, and 4 is the 1 time. Yeah, that's all. That's it from this video. If you like this video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and share it to your friends, colleagues. Thanks for watching this video. I will see you